Oh, oh, what a day.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Taco Comfort Solutions.
I thought timing was everything. First day back from vacation and trying to catch up on, you know, boats hitting beaches, or not the beach. Wasn't close to the beach. Wasn't close to the beach. I had full control of that boat. But the co-chair of the Donald Trump campaign here in Rhode Island, he was something chair. The chair, the honorary, I don't know what chair he was. They're not on the show yet. Is here. Of course, he's going to gas me because he didn't see the Trump-Putin thing today. So I don't know what to do about this. Also, we got to check on the truck tolls in the lawsuit. So we got a lot going on. Thanks for watching previous shows for the last couple of weeks. And we're back on at midnight, right? Is World Cup over?
Monday, yes, not Tuesday.
Monday, what? This is Monday.
Yes, we're good.
Yes. Okay. Here is President Trump today.
War. Even during the tensions of the Cold War, when the world looked much different than it does today, the United States and Russia were able to maintain a strong dialogue. But our relationship has never been worse than it is now. However, that changed as of about 4 hours ago.
Yeah, because he's the Mr. Magic. You know, I figured that was typical Trumpian stuff early on. I will tell you, I'm not a historian, and I don't have the credibility to be able to rank this performance. But all you had to do was check with Fox to see them writhing over this United States leadership giveaway to realize that even the base went, oh my God, what did he just do? And you, Mr. Gubernatorial candidate,
I didn't see
an honorary co-chair,
chairman.
Why do I always screw that up? I don't think I've ever gotten that right.
No, you haven't.
You were the chairman.
Chairman. That was it.
You think
co-chair is two people.
You to watch,
chairman is one.
You know, after you get your boat fixed, I want you to watch this thing in its entirety and then get back to me as to whether you'll ever mention that you were the honorary real chair, half chair, quarter chair of this president.
Dan, you're the guy that brings it up all the time. I'm not talking about it every day.
I know, because I advise you not to.
I'm taking your advice.
Right.
But you're spoiling my advice right now.
I know. I gave you the
your
advice. And I gave you the advice, and now I'm dragging you in.
You're doing.
Well, listen, you were the chair. We're just going to have to get some expertise on this as we go. The gamut runs from he lost his mind to that was a treasonous effort. That's where this whole conversation is going to end up being. In the meantime, we got too much to do and too little time to do it. I thought he knew how to run a boat. Did you see this?
I do know how to run a boat.
Roll this. We'll roll.
If you've been at some local beaches, there's a chance you've seen or heard it. Independent gubernatorial candidate Joe Trillo's yacht playing music with a campaign sign on the side. That same boat ran into some trouble over the weekend. According to the Coast Guard, it hit a rock off the coast of Charlestown late Sunday morning. Here's a picture from the agency as it helped Trillo out.
All right, so we're not going to investigate the whole situation. You're disputing beach witnesses who say that you were too doggone close to the shore. What happened?
What happened was we were out campaigning as we've done along the beaches, and I hit a rock that was not on the charts.
Were you driving?
I was driving.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a damn
good
captain.
Yeah.
I've captained from Maine to Key West to the Bahamas on many, many occasions. I got thousands of hours. This was the first time in my life I ever called the Coast Guard. First time for an emergency. And you have to do that because by law, if you do something like this, you have to put them on guard, especially when you are taking on water.
Who's the other guy that called the Coast Guard? There was another guy.
It was one of the campaign people on the boat.
Freaking out.
He wasn't.
Well,
But these guys are not boats people.
Yeah.
They're on the boat. You know, I tell them call the Coast Guard on the cell
Dude, I
phone.
would have been diving off. I would have been swimming to shore. I'm just saying.
The boat was never in any jeopardy of that. We carry a lifeboat. We put the lifeboat in the water. We put on life preservers, and we were not too close to the beach. However, when you see a big boat like that come at all near the beach, you're not used to seeing it.
All right, here's the thing. I got to say this. I said this to Joe prior to my vacation week last week. I think his guerrilla marketing has been brilliant. Brilliant. Between where you've left. Well, that's really, really smart, because there's a couple of things you've got to clear up with the Board of Elections when it comes to where you've parked some vehicles. But by and large, in the water, on the road, it's kind of like Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You are guerrilla marketing this candidacy unlike any other candidate has done. I think it's going to help you. I don't know where your independent ceiling is going to be, if there is one, but it's going to get you there fast. So I think it's congratulations.
Well, one of the things, thank you, and I appreciate you saying that because I respect your opinion on marketing. But one of the things that we noticed is when we were getting signatures, and I might add we just turned in today almost 3,200 signatures. The people that were out gathering signatures said, the minute the boat hit the rocks and the news started to cover it, my name recognition all of a sudden went through the roof. So I didn't plan it that way, but as it turns out, it wasn't so bad in the long
Well,
run.
I guess someone could ask you, what did it cost? Well, how much? What's the monetary damage on the boat?
I don't know yet. We're going to meet with the adjuster and find out what they're saying it is.
Well,
it's going to be expensive.
Is that you better be careful. Is that a campaign expense or is that a personal expense?
I have deducted nothing for the boat as a campaign expense, including fuel.
Okay. You've got two other issues, though. There's this Narragansett thing. I think we had a headline on this. You got a big sign. Do we have a picture of this? Do we have a picture of this? You got this big sign across in Scarborough. That's family property, right?
Yes.
Your sister owns the property.
My sister owns the property. It was my father's house. We owned the beach. We owned the beach that was part of Scarborough Beach.
Right.
They carved out that portion of the beach because his house was there when he made the deal to sell it to the state.
People want to make a big deal about this. I think I understand the perspective that it's obnoxious. At the same time, it's your property. The zoning, I don't know what the zoning regulations are.
Here's what the zoning regulation, and this is where the problem comes. It's zoned public. And in a public zone, there are no sign restrictions because, for the most part, everything that's in public zoning are beaches, parks, and recreation areas. So they're all controlled by the city, the town, the state, and the federal government. So they're saying to my sister, you have no constitutional rights to put up any sign at any size on your property. Well, guess what? You can't say that to somebody. And several lawyers have advised me that this is a constitutional First
Let me ask you
Amendment
this.
right.
Is battling this publicly good or bad for you? I can't figure it out.
Well, you know, you never know when you take something like this on. I'm fighting for everybody else that's going to put up signs. They're telling me I can't put up a sign till 60 days before the election. Guess what? That's already going to the
What's
Supreme
the town
Court.
going to? Well, I'm hearing what the town's doing formally, and I'm hearing what the town might be doing informally. It's a little informal effort there to muscle your sister a little bit. Is there something going on there?
Yeah, they threatened my sister.
In what way?
They said to her, if you don't take this sign down tomorrow, we're going to have the Public Works Department come on your property and remove it. So I installed cameras all around the
You
place.
can't do that, guys. You can't do that.
No, but they're
There's a
denying
thing
it now.
called process, the courts, hearings. You cannot jump on the property and seize the sign. You can't do that.
Dan, I stand ready, willing, and able to talk to anybody at the town to make a reasonable, whatever they consider sign, and it's not going to be a 1 by 2 foot sign. I would be happy to work with them.
The other thing on signage is that you ran some trucks onto property owned by the Carpianato Group, fresh off Alan Fung's campaign problems with his, half charge, no charge, late charge rentals. That was a bonehead decision.
No,
in my
it
mind.
wasn't, because
Bonehead.
I went for the decision. The decision is that I didn't do anything wrong, and as long as the property owner does not rent out parking places, there's nothing wrong with it. However, if they decide to rent out parking places, then it opens a can of worms. Like you had said, it goes with the value of
I don't know.
the signage.
I would have thought twice about that, just because you're sitting there wailing on Alan Fung righteously, I think, about
Totally
his
different
rental
thing,
agreement.
Parking a truck in a parking lot.
And the Board of Elections, they're like 1 for 3 on every with me on everything. They bat no more than 30%. They're like what the ACO used to be, not very competent. Anyway, any issues going on in this gubernatorial race other than what your signs?
You know what's
I got to talk to
amazing?
Mike Collins. You're with the truckers, right?
I am with the truckers.
You're with the truckers,
Yes.
so he's coming up next.
I
Yes.
think what they did to the truckers is just unconscionable.
If you get elected governor, will you take the tolls down?
No one has the power to take the tolls down but the General Assembly. Would I negotiate with the General Assembly to take them down? Absolutely. So any gubernatorial candidate comes in here and says, the minute I get elected, the tolls are coming down. That's baloney.
In 2 weeks when we find out, I don't know if this is the timetable, the Paw Sox are leaving Worcester, what are you going to say as a gubernatorial candidate?
Well, big mistake. They didn't know what they were doing when they negotiated. There was a way of putting
It's all
a deal.
on them, not on the Speaker of the House for that piece of garbage
It's on
transactional
the
piece
Speaker of the
legislation he
House,
just put out.
but it's on the governor too.
No
Nobody
doubt.
took a lead on it.
Completely
Everybody ran from it like I'm
Wallflowers.
afraid from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could have put a deal
It
together.
won't be your problem, though, because you'll get elected in November. So what's your polling data say, real quick? What's your polling data say?
Well, we're up in the polls and we're moving up. You know, I'm not going to give out any
Come on.
internal numbers right now. We'll see what the
You got
next
all
poll
jacked
that
about
gets
that
released.
16% that you had in the last one.
Yeah, well,
Are you more?
we don't want to go up too fast. That would be a mistake.
You don't want to go too fast.
No, we want to go slowly. We want to go slowly.
Maybe you got to drive the boat slowly.
Well, I wasn't going that fast with the boat. But we're out there doing our marketing. We got the RVs on the road, and you know, we're working at every angle we can possibly work at. Because one of the things I said from day one is I'm not going to have X amount of millions and millions of dollars like Gina Raimondo has.
Oh, you got it. You just don't want to spend
But
it.
my dollar, every dollar I spent, they need
Thrifty.
$10 to compete with me.
I got you. And when everything calms down and you get your signs all figured out, your boat straight, we'll talk some issues soon. All right.
All right, very
Good
good.
to see you.
Nice
and
seeing
watch the Trump thing and Putin.
I will.
You're not getting away with this
I
one.
will.
Mike Collins in the truck toll suit next.